You're watching The American on ESPN. College basketball is back just a few hours after the city of Houston celebrated the Houston Astros with a World Series parade. It's the number 3 Houston Cougars welcoming the Bears of Northern Colorado. Welcome inside Fertitta Center. I'm Matt Peterson with the Houston great Reed Geddes. Well, Reed, the expectations are at an all-time high. Number 3 in the AP poll in the preseason for the first time since the 83-84 year.
Yeah, and to do better than that as far as expectations, you'd have to go back to 1967-68. Look, the expectations are off the chart. This is a team coming off of an Elite 8 run. They've arguably got their 2 best players back, and I cannot remember a season at University of Houston basketball where people are more excited to get it going.
Northern Colorado last year went to the Big Sky Championship game. They bring back 3 guards to this year's team, and the best of the bunch is Dylan Kuntz. He was outstanding last year, 21 points per game.
Last year he was runner-up player of the year in the Big Sky. This year he's the preseason player of the year. This is a kid that was number 10 in the country in scoring. He can score at all 3 levels. His coach talked about taking away the mid-range, get to the rim or shoot threes. But this kid is a walking bucket. Going to be a great matchup with the Bears backcourt against the Cougars backcourt.
For Houston, many Houston fans waited on the draft decision of Marcus Sasser. Marcus Sasser is back. He is a preseason AP All-American after the foot injury last season.
ESPN came out with the top 100 players to watch for, and Marcus was number 4. The expectations we talked about with the team, well, they rest on this young man's shoulders. He missed almost all of last season. He's healthy, and in my opinion, Matt, this is the most complete guard in America. Cannot wait to watch his senior season.
Set for tip inside Fertitta Center. Juwan Roberts wins the tip. Sasser hands off for Tramon Mark. And the 22-23 season is underway inside a jam-packed Fertitta Center. First possession alley-oop for the highly touted freshman, Jarace Walker.
Yeah, talk about making an intention to get him involved early. You and I were talking before the tip. I cannot remember the last time that Kelvin Sampson started a freshman in game 1.
Roberts with the steal and run-out dunk. Tough defending, offensive rebound inside. And the Bears reset. That miss came from Dalen Kuntz, the left-handed point guard, 5th-year senior from Denver. Very impressive isolation from Dalton Knecht, the senior from Northern Colorado.
Yeah, immediately Northern Colorado going to an on-the-ball screen. The Cougars switched, and boy, Jarace Walker is going to get tested early in this game.
Shed with Walker. Marcus Sasser broke his foot in December. Missed the rest of last season. He's a preseason AP All-American. Step back 3 from Sasser is missed. And a foul goes against Northern Colorado. Good effort from Shed on the offensive glass.
Juwan Roberts running through lanes. If you're Northern Colorado, no pass is going to be easy. A simple reverse the ball through the top, well, you're going to have to focus because Juwan Roberts and his teammates are going to be running through passing lanes every time you let go of the ball. Good pass.
Roberts back for Walker. He'll take a 3. Kuntz runs down the rebound. This team wants to go up tempo. They want to take threes in transition, as they do here. Off the mark. And Shed boxes out Houston possession.
Now, this Northern Colorado team last year, they averaged just under 80 points per game, 78 points per game. The problem for Steve Smiley is they gave up 77.5 points. And so, boy, they certainly want to get into an up-tempo game on both ends of the floor.
Walker for Mark. Mark missed most of last season, also a shoulder surgery on his left shoulder last December. It was a brutal week for Houston. Mark and Sasser both out for this season. A deep two from Mark.
A really good start for Tramon Mark, and you and I both commented on he has certainly put on some strength. I don't know if he's put on pounds, but his shoulders, boy, he really looks like a different player out there.
Offensive foul for a moving screen on Theo Hughes, the center out of England. There's Coach Sampson looking for his 700th career win. Round numbers read he'll get 700 tonight with the win, 200 at University of Houston.
He talks about that as soon as he stops being excited about the first game, he's going to get out of this. He loves the month of October. He loves teaching. Now's the time to see whether his kids understand the process that he's been trying to instill in them.
Northern Colorado goes zone on cue. Shed with a three. And a backside rebound from Bryce Kennedy. This is Matt Johnson II. He's a sixth-year senior from Aurora, Colorado. Really the heartbeat of this Northern Colorado team.
Yeah, not something you say often, a sixth-year senior.
Woo, look at the rejection on the interior from Jarris Walker.
You talk to the coaching staff, and he has such hype and such high expectations. My question was, is he living up to it? And everyone I asked smiled and went, yeah, yes, he is. And they talk about his mental makeup. You've got to be mentally tough to play for Kelvin Sampson, especially as a freshman. And they say he has got the perfect makeup in order to understand how to learn to impact winning.
Offensive foul drawn by Jamal Shed in the paint.
A little full court pressure for Northern Colorado. Steve Smiley trying to speed up this game.
Well, that was one question coming in. Who would start at the center position? On the power forward position, would it be Chaney and Roberts? It is Walker and Roberts. Chaney will come off the bench, and I think that position read will change game by game.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really thought Reggie Chaney is healthy. He's played for the last 2 years with a broken hand, had 2 surgeries in the offseason, and is healthy. He is going to be a key to the success of this team.
Chaney started on the Final Four team 2 years ago, a big part of last year's Elite 8 run as Shed gets to the paint.
We have already seen man-to-man defense. We've seen a 1-3-1, and we have seen a 2-3 out of Caleb Shaw and his teammates, changing up defenses. And you talked to Steve Smiley, and he even hinted at maybe we'll try a little triangle and 2. Not sure I've ever seen somebody in the first game of the season try a triangle and 2, but we'll keep an eye out for it.
Well, he mentioned it's maybe too early in the season to throw that at his team, but he pointed to a competitive game against #1 Arizona last year. They used that. They were inside single digits in the second half before falling. But it'll be mostly man-to-man as Kuntz walks in the front court. 21 points per game last year, 51% from the field, 42% from deep. Transfer from Colorado.
Excellent defense.
Shed called for the foul.
You know, it's interesting. The very first possession, the Cougars switched an on-the-ball screen, and Jarris Walker got stuck. That time, they showed and then recovered, and it was a perfect rotation for Kelvin Sampson's defense.
Foul drawn by Caleb Shaw, freshman from Phoenix. 5-second violation against Dalen Kuntz.
Now, Jarris Walker is so athletic and he's so wide. He's guarding the inbounder and jumping up and down and waving his arms. And, boy, that just takes away a lot of the court when you're trying to throw it in, over, or around Jarris Walker. Back in a 2-3 zone.
Sasser with Mark. Bounce pass inside to Walker. Sasser for Mark. Left wing 3.
If I'm Steve Smiley and I'm going to switch defenses, I think long and hard before I run a 2-3 zone with this many shooters on the floor for Houston.
High screen. Back to Abercrombie. The transfer from Rice misses. And look at that. Will for the rebound from J'Wan Roberts. We saw a lot of teams come here and try a zone in the non-conference. It didn't work out quite well last year against the Cougs.
You know, it's pick your poison, but I would start out, stay man-to-man, make the Cougars force you out of the man-to-man because they'll shoot you out of a zone in a hurry. Good defense.
Dalton Knecht, the senior, turns away Mark, and he runs down the court to finish.
Wow, what a play by Dalton Knecht. Steve Smiley says this kid may be the key to our success this season. They need him to play at an all-league level, and boy, that sequence he certainly did.
Started the season as a starter last year, was injured, missed 5 to 6 games, came off the bench most of the second half of the season. Here's Roberts in the paint. Left hand from 8 feet.
Well, Dalton Knecht is really a small forward, and they play him at power forward and create mismatches. I'm not sure if there's really a mismatch out there today.
Three-pointer missed by Walker. Here comes Kuntz. Abercrombie played at Rice before transferring to Northern Colorado. He's back in Houston now.
Well, really good defense. Yeah, that's really good defense. That is now 3 turnovers by the Bears from Northern Colorado.
Media timeout. A good start for the Cougs. Up 8 inside Fertitta Center. Welcome back inside Fertitta Center. Matt Peterson with Reed Geddes. A winning culture here in Houston. It keeps getting better year after year. Seemingly one of the best programs in America at the moment. Number 3 in both polls to begin the season.
Yeah, it's just Kelvin Sampson has built this program. I started, a lot of people say, oh, he returned it. He's exceeded where this program has been. Only one time have we started a season ranked number 3, and that was the team I was on in 83-84. And then the only time that the team was ranked higher to start a season was when the gentleman on your left was averaging about 35 points and 25 rebounds per game, the great Elvin Hayes back in the 67-68 season. You're talking about rarefied air. This has now become one of the winningest programs in the country under Kelvin Sampson. A Sweet 16, they get knocked out by COVID. A Final Four, they return to an Elite 8 without arguably their 2 best players, and now start the season number 3. That, my friend, is rarefied air.
Shed out of the timeout. Back for Mark. Mark in the paint. Extra pass for Chaney. Chaney into the game during the media timeout.
Shot clock.
Mark improvising. Chaney gets the offensive rebound. Northern Colorado basketball.
I'm not sure anybody knew that the shot clock had not reset. Tremont Mark made a beautiful pass. Reggie Chaney's shot was blocked, and I wasn't sure. I thought they were acting a little nonchalant, but they gave themselves a chance. Nice rotation on the backside by Marcus Sasser.
Abercrombie hands off to Johnson the second.
That's an offensive foul.
Shed nearly with the strip. Last touch by Roberts. 2 on the shot clock for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, Caleb Shaw got a little bit frustrated, and you're just going to have a hard time taking the Cougars one-on-one off the dribble. But if you do get past them, you can bet on the fact somebody's rotated over and is in front of you. So you got to dribble, penetrate, jump stop, and then kick. Penetrate and pitch if you're Northern Colorado.
Ramon Walker checks in, had a big season last year. They thought he might have to redshirt. And here he's defending and a bucket for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, that was an excellent sideline out-of-bounds play. They had a height advantage with Dalton Connect, a very well-designed play by Steve Smiley.
Walker coming off an injury last year. Deep three from Sasser is off the back iron. Coach Sampson thought Walker might be a redshirt last season, but he had to play more once Mark and Sasser were injured. He had a great freshman season.
I believe his body is as transformed between year 1 and year 2 as anybody I've ever seen.
Here's Shed off the steal.
Holy cow.
Walker flying for the loose ball.
Ramon Walker went in and looked like a bowling ball. He lost his balance, and I just saw bodies flying in every direction.
Ramon Walker in. We go to timeout. Houston leading 12-6 in the first half inside Fertitta Center. First half. Matt Peterson with Houston great Reed Geddes. And for Northern Colorado, they lost in the Big Sky Championship game, picked second again to Montana State. In our conversation with Steve Smiley last week, he said, we're not as good yet compared to last year, but our ceiling is higher. We're a deeper team this season.
Steve Smiley was there as an associate head coach for 4 years. This is his 3rd year on the bench. In his 2nd year, you see that 22-16. That doubled the number of wins from the year before. This is a team on the rise. They are deep, they're talented, and to go out and be tested in a game like this for the first game out, that tells you a lot about Steve Smiley and the competitiveness of this Northern Colorado program.
They host Texas A&M Commerce later this week, then they come back to Texas to play Baylor next week.
Northern Colorado picked to finish 2nd.
A steal from Marcus Sasser. Left-handed finish.
You're going to get tired of hearing me say this. Marcus Sasser is the most complete guard in America. He can shoot. He has exceptional handles. He is an elite level defender. There is nobody in the country more well-rounded than Marcus Sasser. That was a beautiful finish. He shoots the ball as well as anyone. He drove in on the right side, drew contact, showed the ball with his right hand, and then watch him pull it over in his left hand and finish on the opposite side of the rim. And just makes the game look easy.
Foul on Ramon Walker. Inbounded to Riley Abercrombie. Johnson the second, harassed by Sasser. Coote spinning. Affected by Walker's defense. He misses the layup. Walker from the corner. Largest lead tonight, the Cougs up 11.
I'm telling you, Ramon Walker looks like a completely different kid. He's got his hair cut. It looks like he's aged like 4 or 5 years. His body has just been completely transformed. Boy, he is going to be a key to the success of this Houston team.
Chaney nearly with the steal. Abercrombie.
Shot clock.
Shot clock violation in front of the Houston bench.
Kelvin Sampson clapping his hands and pumping his fists. And you don't see that often in game 1 with Kelvin Sampson.
Well, he spoke to media last week about Ramon Walker. They asked about him, and he said, you know what? He's not the first player I would send to a game of horse. But if it's a game about winning plays and winning the game, he's the first player I would pick.
A great compliment. The other highly touted recruit is on the floor now. Terrence Arsenault out of Beaumont United, 6'6", long arms, and this kid is going to be special.
Wearing 23 in the scarlet and white. Three to shoot. Walker missed the three. Kuntz runs it down. Bears in transition. Walker, nearly a chase down block.
nothing easy. If you're playing Houston and you think you're going to have a breakaway and you can let up, you can bet your bottom dollar somebody's coming hard from behind. And look at the hustle by Ramon Walker. Ramon Walker is who took the shot almost on the baseline at the three-point line on the opposite side of the floor, and yet he chases down the leak-out fast break.
Coach Sampson was asked in the offseason who sets the tone with the culture. The first two names he said, Juwan Roberts and Ramon Walker.
He talks a lot, Kevin Sampson talks a lot about there's three guys that can't have a bad day. He said the head coach, your best player, Marcus Sasser, and your point guard, Jamal Shead. And then everything else evolves from those three players. But to say that about Ramon Walker and Juwan Roberts, hey, this is a complete team, and that's why the expectations are so high. Good box out. Boy, Theo Hughes did a nice job of making contact on Javier Francis. He got big, he held his arms out, and then held his position. Nice job.
Francis is in, sophomore from New Orleans. Johnson, the second running the offense. Dalen Kuntz now for Northern Colorado. Kuntz spinning on Sasser. Another contested layup. And the big man comes away with it. Open three off the back iron. Another offensive board.
Boy, Theo Hughes is playing his tail off at the start of this game.
Kuntz from deep. Rebounded by Mark. Tramon Mark. Arsenault for Sasser. Sasser passed up the three. Took some contact. Now it's Mark with 5 to shoot. Walker. Mid-range. Tough rebound, Francis.
Good rebound.
Sampson calls a play. Mark flies in for the offensive board. Walker attacking. Another offensive board for the Cougars. Sasser for 3.
Steve Smiley needs a timeout. Boy, how many possessions was that? That had to have been 5 offensive rebounds, and you just can't give Houston that many looks at the basket. Tramon Mark got a rebound. He started outside by the coaching box and got the offensive rebound in the corner on the right side of the court.
Walker comes over for the double team. It's lost by Theo Hughes.
Now you give Houston enough looks at the basket, enough possessions, and eventually Marcus Sasser, somebody's going to jump up and knock down the shot. Houston extending their lead to 12. Back with 7-11 in the first half. One of the things that Kelvin Sampson's teams pride themselves on is rebounding effort. Look at the top left corner of your screen, Tramon Mark. Look where he starts and look where he gets this offensive rebound. He gets it in the opposite corner. That is nothing but rebounding effort. When the ball goes up, Kelvin Sampson expects at least 4 players, no matter where you are, to go get the ball. That is extraordinary rebounding effort by Tramon Mark.
And that possession ended with the Sasser 3. 8 total games last season, had shoulder surgery. Local kid from Dickinson High School. And again, last year when Mark went down, when Sasser went down, many gave up on the Cougars. They reinvented themselves, kind of an inside-out team with Josh Carlton. Went to the Elite 8. Now they have Mark back. Sasser elected to return.
Arguably played one of the worst games of the season against Villanova So shorthanded, they came back, and they were a minute 30 to go. The score's tied. They hadn't made a shot the entire game, and they were that close to going back to the Final Four. A remarkable season. I am thrilled to see Tramon Mark back out on the floor. He showed so many flashes in his freshman season. He has got elite level handles and a tremendous court awareness. Maybe the best passer on the team, Tramon Mark.
Here he is in the paint. Finds Shead. Shead backs it out. High screen, Francis. Walker exploding to the paint. And fighting for the rebound, Arsenault. Northern Colorado ball.
Look, the culture just repeats itself, right? There's Terrence Arsenault. He was in the right corner outside the three-point line, dives inside of two Bears, and gets his hands on that offensive rebound. Jarace Walker needs a basket really bad. He is struggling. He's playing aggressive. He's being assertive, and he just cannot get one to go.
Connects. Theo Hughes, 7-foot center from England.
Oh, he walked and stepped out of bounds.
Connects, guarded by Arsenault.
Oh. Hey, you hear the fans chanting air ball. That's never good when you shot a layup.
There was 6 hands in there to contest.
I heard that a lot when I pulled up from 20, 25 feet. I don't know that I ever heard that on a layup. Back to the 2-3 zone.
Here comes Francis to set a high screen.
We're looking for a lob along that baseline to either Walker or Francis.
Mark with 4 to shoot.
Every time the ball has gone inside Northern Colorado, Houston goes their monster defense. They double team regardless of whether someone's a scoring threat, but they always double team the post, and then they excel at recovering out of that double team.
Corner 3 missed.
Ooh, almost a goaltending. I'm not sure if he touched the ball or not.
Northern Colorado 0 for 5 from deep in this first half. Good pass from Shead for Francis. Arsenault from the corner. Mark will pull it out.
They need to get the ball back to Arsenault. Let him get another shot up quickly.
Shead.
Good rebound.
Arsenault with the offensive rebound and finish.
Yeah, that's 2 times in a row we've seen the young freshman crash the boards and do a great job of keeping the ball alive. He has got exceptionally long arms.
Cougs up 14. Straightaway 3, Riley Abercrombie. And a timeout for Northern Colorado.
Maybe the first clean look at the basket for Northern Colorado in a long time. Cougars up by 11. We'll step aside with 4:18 to go in the first half.
Tonight's broadcast is presented by The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Houston Athletics. And by Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair. Welcome back. It's Matt Peterson with the Houston Great. Reed Geddes, what'd you like about the first 20 minutes?
Hey, if you're Kelvin Sampson, game 1, you're looking for 2 things, right? You're looking for rebounding. They got 12 offensive rebounds plus 7. Check. And you're looking for defense. They held Northern Colorado. They shot 21% from the floor, 11% from the three-point line. Their leading scorer has 1 point. They have 2 assists and 9 turnovers. It's hard to imagine a better first half for game 1 than Houston just played.
We look at the highlights of this first half. And the very first defensive possession ended with his dunk from J'Wan Roberts.
You know, it's interesting because Houston started off playing good defense and then really ratcheted it up. And the harder they played, the more frustrated Northern Colorado got, just trying to get a clean look at the basket. And it's nice to see Tremont Mark coming back, and he knocks down really 3 nice jump shots from the perimeter. And only 2 players for Northern Colorado scored a field goal in the first half, and Marcus Sasser led all scores. He was spectacular, I thought, in the first half.
Reed, it feels like defensively we talk about culture and family. They feed off one another. If one guy starts flying around defensively, the others feel like they have to.
You know, after the first football game, you have a overreact Monday, you know, where everybody overreacts. So I don't want to overreact with what I saw. But what the Cougars did on defense, their rotations, their schemes, they went monster, doubling the post, doubling on the ball screen, rotating. That was a very, very high level of execution on the defensive end.
Northern Colorado was a very good three-point shooting team last year, 38% from deep. They took more than 1,000, top 25 in the country, threes attempted. Houston took away the three-pointer in the first half.
3-pointers and assists. They only had 2 assists. They had 9 turnovers, and we talked a lot about Dalen Kuntz, and he was 0 for 6 from the floor. Finally got on the scoreboard with a free throw, but boy, Houston just absolutely dominated a pretty good backcourt in Dalen Kuntz and Matt Johnson.
Halftime stats brought to you by Memorial Hermann Orthopedics. Back underway in the second half. Roberts inside for the left-handed finish.
Beautiful job making contact with his left shoulder and then turning back over his right. That was the one thing we didn't see in the first half, was a play throwing the ball inside to the post.
8 points for Juwan Roberts. Bryce Kennedy starts the second half for Northern Colorado, 6'7" junior. He's a Texan out of Allen High School. Here he is on the ball. Inside for Theo Hughes.
Good defense.
Shot clock violation. I don't think the referees heard the buzzer inside for Tita Center.
Now, Dalen Kuntz took the ball. He did a spin move, and he spun into a triple team. And that's the focus of Jarris Walker and his teammates coming out of the locker room.
Sean Cassidy, our referee, with Michael Husted and Trent Dews. Maybe they were at the parade today and forgot to take their earplugs out.
Hey, I was downtown with 1.5 million of my closest friends today celebrating our Astros.
Open three off the back iron from Jarris Walker.
Good transition defense.
Rebounded by Sasser, defended by Mark. Sasser ended the first half with a 3. He goes with the floater. Offensive rebound, Jarris Walker.
Ooh, Juwan Roberts was wide open underneath the basket.
Jamal Shett out of Minor, Texas.
Ooh, that's a travel. Yeah, Kelvin Sampson frustrated with Juwan Roberts. That's the second time he's had an easy basket in this game and hasn't cleanly caught the basketball.
Johnson starts the offense. 6th-year senior from Aurora, Colorado. Dalton Connect. Could not finish.
Jarris Walker catching the ball off the glass and bringing it down like a point guard. Ooh, that kid just got a terrific skill set. Ooh, he got hit on the arm.
Including offensive rebounding. Sasser to Walker. Backs down his man. Tried to feed Roberts inside.
It was a good idea, but, and listen, Jarris Walker, one of the things that Kelvin Sampson talks about is what a good feel he has, and he's an excellent passer. And it's very hard to throw the ball across your body in traffic. It's better to go in, jump stop, square up, drop off a bounce pass, make it easier to catch.
Johnson.
Well, rotations are excellent right now for Houston.
Roberts read that one and jumps in front for the steal. Mark another 3. Loose ball in the paint, kicked out to Sasser. Shed to his left.
Ooh, that's a
Plus the
breakaway.
foul for Jamal Shed.
Yeah, that's the new rule last year. That's a breakaway. Should be the basket counts, free throw, and the ball. You cannot foul an airborne player from behind. And let's see what they call. I don't see anybody signaling. They're saying just one, but that's the breakaway rule. That should be a foul and the ball. You cannot foul an airborne player from behind.
Shed to the free throw line. Led the American 5.8 assists per game last year. Number 10 in the country. 2.9 assists per turnover. Number 9 in the country. Only player in the country top 10 in both categories.
In my opinion, if there are 2 point guards in America better than Jamal Shed, I can't name them for you. I just could not be higher on this young man. He's going to finish his career with every assist record at the University of Houston. And let me tell you something, he is the quintessential team leader. I'm not sure I have ever seen a better leader than Jamal Shed. Good move.
Free throws coming for Jarace Walker. He just explodes into the paint.
Yeah, I mean, he has got a tremendous skill set. He's 6'8", about 240. He's got those broad shoulders that you can't teach. And, boy, he does explode. And we've seen him take the ball off the glass. He's taken 4 or 5 threes. He hasn't made one yet, but every one of them has looked good. And when he shot them, I look over the coaching staff to see if anybody's going, no! And nobody's even reacting. So that's a shot that they're going to encourage him to take.
Caleb Shaw replaces Bryce Kennedy. Highest ranked recruit in Houston history, the #1 power forward in last year's class.
You know, other than Baylor, I'm not sure there's a program in the country that's doing a better job or as good a job of developing players as Houston is. And for so long, we've gotten guys under the radar and developed them. Marcus Sasser, you know, Dejan Giroux, guys that turned into superstars but weren't superstars coming out of high school. Jarace Walker, make no mistake, he is a superstar. And if he develops like he has the potential to develop, holy smokes.
Sasser knocks it off Shaw's hand. Houston basketball. Cougs off to a good start in the second half, stretching the lead to 26 inside Fertitta Center. (39-13) Cougars. 6 minutes gone in this second half. Media timeout. Jamal Shed, 221 assists last season, most by a Houston Cougar since.
So I'm going to guess somebody that played with 2 of the 50 greatest of all time. Would that be a good guess?
And he's seated to my right, Reed Geddes, 309 assists in the 83-84 season.
Yeah, let me tell you something. If Jamal Shed would have played with the guys that I played with, oh, son, he'd end up with 1,200 assists. Let me tell you something. He's going to have the record before his career's over. And I've told everybody this as sincerely as I can. I hope I get to hand him the basketball and tell him congratulations, because there's nobody that I would be more proud of to break those records than Jamal Shed. And he's going to do it. And it's going to be a really, really special moment when he does.
Shed, Sasser, Mark, Chaney, and Walker on the floor. 5 to shoot. Jump stop and finish from Shed.
In the first half, they're attacking the zone. We talked about it by just throwing it around the perimeter. Now they're dribble penetrating, causing that zone to contract and expand. Now Northern Colorado looking for their first point out of the locker room.
Johnson from deep. Just the second made 3 on 13 attempts for Northern Colorado.
They're going to forget Jarace Walker down there on the baseline, and somebody's going to lob it up there to the rim to him.
Chaney with the offensive board, had it knocked away. Houston basketball. Caleb Shaw thought he was pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think he was, or if he was, it was by his own teammate. He just lost control of it, and Caleb Shaw's had a tough evening taking care of the basketball.
Shed inside for Chaney.
Jarris Walker out guarding Matt Johnson on the perimeter. 2 baskets for Matt Johnson.
Back-to-back threes for Matt Johnson. All league the last couple of years. Could be in the running for the player of the year in the Big Sky here in 2022. Shed gets the screen from Chaney. Another mid-range. Chaney battling for the loose ball. It's back to Sasser.
Cougars now up plus 10 in the rebound department, 30-20.
Tramon Mark. Look at Chaney scrapping for the offensive board, but he's called for an offensive foul.
Yeah, that's a good call. Watch Reggie Chaney in the middle of the screen. A nice box out, and that's connecting. Yeah, absolutely a good call.
Dalen Koontz running the offense for Northern Colorado. He's missed a lot of good looks with that left hand tonight near the rim. Koontz now 0 for 8 from the field.
Yeah, the Cougars now with 16 offensive rebounds in this game.
Mark and Walker to the bench.
J'Wan Roberts is 1 steal away from a career high. Last time he had 3 steals was against Villanova in the Elite 8 game.
Look at Chaney running the floor coast to coast for the left-handed finish. Don't oftentimes see Reggie Chaney in the open floor like that.
We haven't seen him without almost a boxing glove on that hand. He had 2 surgeries in the offseason, and first time this young man has been healthy in I don't know how long.
Shed clears the rebound.
Good pass.
Reverse layup, J'Wan Roberts. Another assist from Jamal Shed. Abercrombie against Chaney. Roberts with the rebound. Shed pushing the tempo. Hands off for Marcus Sasser.
Yeah, you know, the Cougars are so interchangeable. You know, different guys can bring the ball up the floor, but in transition, if you don't find Marcus Sasser and match up with him, you did not pay attention to the scouting report. Cougars up big here in the second half as we step aside.
Jamal Shed showing the variety of assists here in the second half.
Well, he gets to the paint, he jump stops, he throws a bounce pass. Then he comes down in transition, and look at the awareness. He turns his back, sets a screen, a handoff to Sasser, and leaves him all by himself. He's turned, he's created a screen, he clears out, and look at the space that creates for Marcus Sasser. And that goes back to what when I was bragging on Jamal Shed and just his feel for the game. He knows not only who to get the ball to, but where on the floor to get them the ball. And that's one of the reasons he's one of the elite point guards in America this season.
Part of the Final Four team. He rose last year. And now a star of one of the best backcourts in the country. It's hard to find a better backcourt. Shed, Sasser, and Tramon Mark in America. Here's another steal. Sasser for two. Francis affected the shot. Cougars in transition again. Shot from mid-range. Stolen by Jamal Shed.
Northern Colorado is just completely discombobulated. They're frazzled and they're frustrated, and they need something good to happen. They need a good, clean possession. Well, that's the second time we've seen that almost identical play. And Jamal Shed, when he penetrates, he stops, and that forces X5, the center in the middle of the court, to decide whether to come up and stop that floater he shot. And if he comes up on him, then it's a drop-off pass. A nice basket by Caleb Shaw. Caleb Shaw comes from a really nice, one of my all-time favorite basketball families, two uncles. That is Scott Drew, the head coach of Baylor. That is his nephew, the son of his sister, and Caleb Shaw's brother plays for Bryce Drew at Grand Canyon. So almost on cue, there's Caleb Shaw making a couple of nice plays.
A three for Shaw and a run-out layup. He's out of Valley Christian High School in Phoenix.
I am a big Scott Drew fan, and we talked about it earlier. Other than Kelvin Sampson, Scott Drew may be developing talent, not maybe, in my opinion, develops talent at a higher level than anybody in the country.
Scott Drew and Baylor host Northern Colorado next week in Waco. All Houston here in the 2022-23 season opener. Cougs up big. Welcome back, 52-24 Houston, midway through the second half. And you may have noticed Houston wearing 44 on their warm-up jerseys in honor of Kayla Chiser, who wore that jersey as a letter winner on the women's basketball team at Houston 2017 to 2018. She was the women's basketball team's director of operations, and she tragically passed away unexpectedly at age 26 in late August. 44 for Kayla Chiser tonight.
As you might imagine, the statistics on this one are about as lopsided as you can get. Plus 10 in rebounding differential, plus 18 in points off turnovers, plus 18 points in the paint. Caleb Shaw gave Northern Colorado the best offensive spurt that they've had in this game right before the last time out.
Johnson's having a really good second half. He had back-to-back threes. He gets in the paint there. Sixth-year senior. Defending Walker.
Well, Jarris Walker making his debut with a double rebounding effort. He has 11 rebounds, 6 on the offensive end.
Sasser will shoot three, and this is what he sets up, Reed. When he shoots 5 feet behind the line and makes it, you're going to get these closeout fouls and put him on the free throw line.
Hey, he's so hard to close out under control because he can explode by you. But look at that step back. And it's so smooth, and his release is what I was talking about earlier. I remember there was a kid at Texas years ago, and I was amazed by his ability that his release, if you couldn't look at his feet and you didn't know where he is on the floor, you'd have no idea whether he was shooting from 12 feet or 33 feet. And that's what I think of when Sasser, he does that step back move and he keeps his balance and explodes, and it's just effortless. Sasser now leading all scorers with 17 points.
U of H,
18.
Fifth school a Sasser has played for in Texas. As you know, Reed, Uncle Jason Sasser, 96, Southwest Conference Player of the Year at Texas Tech. Gerald Sasser, also his uncle, 99 WAC Player of the Year at SMU.
Listen, Gerald Sasser was a great scorer. Jason was a great scorer. Let me just tell you something, brother. The uncles could not shoot like this kid. Their nephew is really something special.
Connects, guarded by Walker. Johnson.
A lot of standing around for Northern Colorado right now.
Francis on their perimeter guarding Johnson. And it's Arsenault in the passing lane for the steal. True freshman Terrence Arsenault out of Beaumont.
He's looked good in this game. He's done a nice job on the offensive glass. That was a terrific rotation on a dribble penetration to get that steal.
Walker misses from 20 feet.
This is going to sound weird, but Jarace Walker's trying so hard in this game. He's aiming the ball instead of just shooting it. Instead of just letting it come out of his hands, he is just aiming so hard.
Deflected pass stolen by Sasser, and he beats two down court. Another tough finish for Marcus Sasser.
Yeah, the strength of his upper body. Oh, he just pulled his calf muscle backing up. He reached down and grabbed it. But to make contact with his left shoulder and then avoid the guy on his right shoulder.
Free throws coming for Caleb Shaw. Sasser grimacing back towards the bench.
Now watch this finish. Watch him use his left shoulder to make contact against Connect and then still have the strength to avoid a slap down on the ball. And that's yet one of the reasons I call this kid the most complete guard in America. He can finish in transition. He has been off to a great start here tonight.
8 minutes left, second half. Houston leading 57-26. Matt Peterson with Reed Geddes. Three leaders tonight. Sasser has 21. Shed has 7, but I think important for Juwan Roberts. Josh Carlton graduated, had a great season last year. Kind of the inside scorer. Roberts might have that role this season.
Yeah, and was not an offensive player last year at all. He was just a rebounder. Marcus Sasser getting a break, sitting on the bench next to Tremont Mark. But Juwan Roberts has such a great nose for the ball. And boy, if we're putting up graphics of difference makers, I would suggest we add Jarace Walker also. 12 rebounds in his debut as a Cougar so far.
With Shaw at the free throw line, he makes the second.
The 6'5" freshman out of Phoenix has looked good ever since we talked about his uncles. He may say, hey, why didn't you bring up Uncle Scott and Uncle Bryce before late in the second half?
Shaw gets a break, and we get moderate full court pressure here. This is Langston Reynolds, freshman from Denver out of Colorado Prep, guarding Jamal Shead.
Ooh.
Chaney sets a heavy screen. Return to Chaney for a tough finish, plus the foul.
Look, that was Juju Ramirez's fault. He's guarding Reggie Chaney, and he just let his teammate get his clock clean. Look at this. Nobody up there, nobody helping. And Juju Ramirez, you're in no man's land. Either switch or don't switch. Either hedge or don't hedge. But right now he's doing nothing. He's just backing up. And he not only gave up a basket, a foul, but he almost got his teammate's head taken off of. You got to be up there and you got to say left, 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 left. You can't let somebody pressuring the ball just turn and run into Reggie Chaney, crying out loud.
Ramon Walker Jr. goes to the bench. It's the Houston debut for Emmanuel Sharp, highly touted redshirt freshman from Tampa. He joined the team at the semester break last December, but couldn't play. Coached by his father, Derek, at Bishop McLaughlin Catholic School in Tampa. 4-star recruit coming out of high school last year. So it's a very deep core. You could argue there's 7 guards that all could make a shout for playing time on this Houston team. Sharp, one of those 7.
I came in immediately and tried to draw a charge. Let's see if that's the restricted arc, secondary defender, and it looks like he was outside of it. Emmanuel Sharp was a scorer in high school, averaged over 31 points per game, and did not play his senior year because of a leg injury, and showed up in December and was clearly out of shape and still recovering. And Alan Bishop, the strength and conditioning coach at Houston, who's as good as anybody in the country and has really turned this into a science, has transformed Emmanuel Sharp. And about 235 pounds, he's down to about 205 and looks like a different player.
First free throw missed by Langston Reynolds, freshman from Denver. As he takes free throws, I'll ask you, Reed, our conversation with Steve Smiley, we asked about your best basketball. He said, on the offensive end, we have lots of ball screens, proper spacing. We play like a Euro professional team. How has that been so difficult for them tonight?
Now, you know, that's predicated on spacing, passing, dribble penetration, and they have just been completely unable to even initiate their offense, but not much movement. They've had the most success. I've said it a couple times. Look how many people are just standing. Well, that's not a Euro professional offense. That's not moving and cutting and down screening. And Houston has just frustrated them down here on the offensive end when they have the ball.
Layup for Jamal Shed. Contested 3. Chaney with the rebound. Shed up to 9 points. Arsenault attacks. Hands off for Chaney. Kuntz just has been completely bamboozled when he gets in the paint against this Houston defense.
Yeah, he's used to getting his shoulders past the player and then having the advantage, and he's clearly frustrated. He has not been able to turn the corner. And watch a nice defense by Emmanuel Sharp, moving his feet. That's good defense. You can move laterally. He's playing defense with the middle of his chest, not with his arms, not with his shoulders, but he's catching him right in the sternum. And that's pretty good transition defense.
Dalen Kuntz 0 for 9 tonight. There's Walker with a turnaround. Kennedy connects short for 3. Walker with a rebound.
That is now 12 rebounds for Jarace Walker.
His first collegiate game tonight out of New Freedom, Pennsylvania, before the IMG Academy. Walker to the paint for a tough finish. And a foul.
Yeah, he's a threat out there at the three-point line. Look, he started this offensive sequence and he was posted up. He released all the way to the three-point line in order to get the ball, and then the ability to explode through contact. Look where he caught the ball, and he has such good hands. He has caught almost everything that has been thrown to him. He got hit in the ribs. He's stretching his ribs at the free throw line, but man, the explosiveness to up fake, put the ball down on the floor with the left hand, and then finish through contact.
Karl Malone Award watch list, preseason Rookie of the Year in the American. 8 points, 12 rebounds in his college debut.
Yeah, he may need to come out.
Sharp hustles for the offensive board. Off a missed free throw, a putback. His first bucket as a college basketball player. Abercrombie for 3. Sharp for 3. Arsenault fighting for the rebound.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Terrence Arsenault. He has done a terrific job of competing, of being physical, of being tough, and he has really stuck his nose in there almost every single time he's been on the floor.
Chaney goes to the bench. Sharp, Shed, Francis, Jarace Walker, and Terrence Arsenault, the 5 on the court for Houston. Sharp call for the foul. Ramon Walker Jr. returns. Jarace Walker goes to the bench. Grimacing.
Coach hit him right in the hurt rib.
Big smile on Sampson's face as Jarace Walker goes to the bench.
Well, nobody seems overly concerned about the rib cage. Terrific debut for Jarace Walker.
Dalton Knecht, senior guard, attacking. Good help side defense from Francis.
I'd like to see Arsenault get a basket.
Shed gets the high screen. On cue, Arsenault from deep. Good defense again, but a late whistle against Francis. A little telepathy there from the former point guard Reed Geddes for Jamal Shed, finding Arsenault on that left wing.
Well, credit Jamal Shed. He knew his freshman needed a basket. He needs to get involved and feel a part of it. And Arsenault has played so hard. He needed to be rewarded with a clean look at the basket. Let me tell you something. This was really good defense on the other end. But look at the pass. And Jamal Shed took one more step. He drew Knecht to him. If he'd have thrown it immediately, then he wouldn't have been open. And well, that's Jamal Shed setting up his teammate. I mean, Steve Smiley's like saying, finally a foul. And I agree, there have been some fouls that could have been called, but that one I don't agree with. Francis rotated over. He was inside the restricted arc, but he left his feet and he went straight up. And it's that principle of verticality that you can challenge as a secondary defender. You can challenge a driving player as long as you leave your feet. And I thought that was exceptional defense by Francis.
It's Shed, Ramon Walker Jr., Emmanuel Sharp, Terrence Arsenault, and Javier Francis on the court for Kelvin Sampson and the Cougars. Sharp for 3.
Wow.
9 assists for Jamal Shed. Cougs have hit 9 from beyond the arc. Abercrombie spinning. Cougs 8 of their last 9 from the field. A big lead on opening night inside Fertitta Center. True freshman Jarace Walker grimacing in pain, but despite being his college debut as a true freshman, they're not easing him into the offense. He's been a focal point on the offensive end tonight.
Yeah, I was surprised that he started the game, to be honest with you. I thought Reggie Chaney would start and gradually Kelvin and the staff would work this young freshman in, and he may just be too talented for that. Now, they aren't treating him with kid gloves. They're coaching him hard with tough love, and he's responding. And I'm worried about the ribs. So that's John Houston. That's the first time the trainer's actually gone and talked to him. The strength coach went over to him. The assistant coach went over to him. I'm like, everybody's checked on him except John Houston. Was that candy?
Yes.
Okay.
Every player is different, right, Reed?
Every player's different.
Some need water, Some need extra tape. He needs a little sugar.
Some need a Jolly Rancher. Hey, he keeps playing the way he is. I'll buy him a jar of Jolly Ranchers and set him over there on the bench.
14 shots in his college debut, a true freshman. And we're struggling to remember the last true freshman to start the opening game for Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah.
He might be the first in Sampson's tenure at University of Houston.
His assistant coach, Hollis Price. Oh, that's nice. I'm telling you, that's nice. He caught the ball, and the first thing he did was he turned and faced the rim. And so often guys flash in there and they kick it out. He turned and looked and saw nobody was picking him up and made the game look very easy.
Bucket for Terrence Arsenault. Kuntz draws a foul. Arsenault has 7 points.
Well, the preseason player of the year in the Big Sky, Dalen Kuntz, is going to the free throw line with just 2 points in this game. He is 0 for 9 from the floor, 2 for 2, and now 3 for 3 from the free throw line. The scouting report against these Northern Colorado Bears was you take Johnson and you take Kuntz out of the game, and the Bears will struggle to score, and that has certainly been the case.
Not many in the country had these numbers last year, Reed. 21 points per game plus reaching these benchmarks. 51% from the field, 42% from three, 82% from the free throw line, but he's been shut down tonight.
Well, he was so consistent last year. Good pass.
Missed alley-oop dunk from Francis.
You know, we're talking about that Dalen Kuntz averaged 21 points per game. In 24 games, he scored over 20 points. So it's not like he was scoring 26 and then 16, and he'd have 23 and then 12. He had 24 games over 20-plus points. Boy, that was almost a spectacular play. And then he had 4 games over 30. So this is uncharacteristic for him, and he's going to have a great season, but he has clearly been frustrated here tonight. Good pass.
Sharp finds Francis for the flush.
I'll tell you what, Emmanuel Sharp has looked really good in limited time off the bench.
Houston shooting over 60% from the field in the second half. Ryan Elvins checked in, junior guard from Round Rock, Texas. Three to shoot.
Did I mention that Emmanuel Sharp has looked really good? I mean, he checked in, he hadn't played, he drew a charge they didn't call. Just then, he almost drew another charge on the defensive end. He's made 2 shots, he's had 2 beautiful passes. I tell you what, this kid has really looked good. I think it feels good for him to be out on the basketball court, sweating, competing, and hearing a referee blow a whistle. It has been a long time since he's gotten some playing time. Sat out his entire senior year with an injury. Coach's kid.
And he's now been in the program almost a full year. Joined late December last year, the semester break. And as you mentioned, coach's son.
Good step.
Francis missed the turnaround layup. Sharp, coached by his dad, Derek, Bishop McLaughlin Catholic School. Turnover, Northern Colorado.
Emmanuel Sharp was a top 50 kid before he got injured. It's not like he suddenly sprang onto the scene. He was highly recruited, 4-star player out of Florida.
Here he is on the ball. Sharp for 3. Off the glass. Sharp has 8 points. Houston has 10 from beyond the arc. Shaw off a screen. That's the kind of offense they want to run, with the screens and open threes. Sharp again from deep.
I mention that he's looked pretty good off the bench? Holy cow.
A steal for Terrence Arsenault. The young gun's getting a run for the Cougars. Arsenault misses the step back. Sharp with the offensive rebound. Another three!
Even Kelvin Sampson turned around and laughed at that one.
11 points, 4 or 5 from the field, and the Houston debut for Emmanuel Sharp.
Oh, that's a great moment. He came over and Kelvin Sampson had his biggest smile on his face as you've seen Kelvin Sampson during a basketball game, and so happy for this young man. And boy, he has come out and made a statement, hadn't he?
Shaw strip, Sharp with the steal. We saw it a lot last year from Ramon Walker Jr. He draws another charge in the last few seconds of the opener tonight.
The expectation is that you will play hard and you will compete every second that you're on the floor.
A memorable victory to open the season. 700 wins as a head coach for Kelvin Sampson. 200 at the University of Houston. Enrique Geddes, what do you think his thoughts would be on this win tonight?
Let me back up a second to what you just said. I mean, in my opinion, Kelvin Sampson is a Hall of Fame level coach before 700 wins. But you start hitting those magic marks, and those numbers mean something. There are very few people that coach college basketball that have 700 wins. I think this game, he's going to be extremely pleased. He's going to be happy with the score, but he's going to be happy with the rebounding and the defense, and that's what he expected to see. And boy, his team for the first game out, defensively, that's as good as I've seen a team play this early in the season.
A lot of hype around Jarace Walker. He seemed to live up to it.
Yeah, he was great. You know, he's one of those kids that every shot he took, he struggled to make jump shots, but every one he took, you felt like was going in. And I really do. I felt like he was just aiming the ball, then he's trying too hard and not just letting it come out of his hand. But golly, we saw him post up. We saw him bring it down in transition. We saw him shoot threes. We saw him step out, drive, finish. And he is every bit what we thought he was going to be.
21 for Marcus Sasser, 4 of 8 from downtown. J'Wan Roberts had 12 points, 6 of 8 from the field. Sharp with 11 points off the bench in his college debut. And the Cougars limit Northern Colorado to 5 of 21 from beyond the arc and 36 total points. Final thought from you, Reed Geddes?
A great start to the season. Kelvin Sampson's walking off the court, and they're trying to catch him to give him a game ball for, to commemorate the number 700 win. But Kelvin Sampson showing his appreciation to the fans. Look, when Kelvin Sampson got here, he had to go to fraternities. He had to walk around campus. He had to say, hey, there's a game tonight. Y'all come watch us. You're going to like these kids. You take that picture, and now you look at where he's elevated this program and where we are today. And athletic director Chris Pesman, his wonderful wife, and it is a family affair here at the University of Houston. His son, Kelvin Sampson, assistant. Lauren is also on the staff, and that's a heck of an accomplishment. And from you and I'd say congratulations as well, Kelvin Sampson.
This was a lot of fun. The Cougars, huge expectations. They respond tonight in the season opener. We'll be back next Monday. Oral Roberts comes to town to take on the Houston Cougars. For Reed Geddes, I'm Matt Peterson saying so long from Fertitta Center, where the Cougars win tonight 83-36. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.